What is going on YouTube and Spotify? This is the Just BSN podcast. And if you are watching on YouTube right now, you notice, hey, Zach, you got a different background. Well, I was saying I was getting ready to move, and today was the day to do it, actually. I literally moved everything that I owned, which is not saying much, but everything that I own is in this little building. It's in this nice little one bedroom apartment, and the lovely little doors that are over here. You guys can kind of see. I'm not gonna span around, but point is, your boy has a new place, a new backdrop. I'm gonna be probably getting some stuff on this wall here. We'll see. I don't know. I'm gonna get creative, but yeah, we are back, of course. And Andrew, we got a lot of things to discuss, mainly on the side of the Browns. Another disappointing week. 1-3 on the season so far. Not the stretch that we thought this team was going to have. What on earth is going on in your head right now?
Dude, you're not lying. We thought this was going to be a fun start to the season, a fun stretch. Boy, were we naive little assholes back a month ago.
Yeah.
I truly didn't think that we believed this offensive line was going to be this bad. We truly didn't believe that guys like Amari Cooper would have the case of the dropsies, and we didn't realize this defense would have a slow start to the year. So it's a mix of just not one, but almost like every single thing that could go wrong is just absolutely going fucking wrong.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that we can really do about it right now besides just continue to work on what we have to work on. But it almost seems like no matter what we try to do, nothing will ever just happen or go our way. I mean, we had an 80-yard touchdown bomb taken away by a ghost holding call.
One of the worst holding calls I've seen in a fat minute, too.
Yeah, and it's crazy because that gives you the lead and probably the W at that point. But also too, the Raiders give you multiple times after that to do something and you still don't. So
It was a huge potential momentum switch for us had we been
yeah,
able to hit on that, because dude, an 80-yard bomb, that is a potential life sinker out of a
hmm
football team when you hit like that.
yeah.
And for that to get called back the way it did, with the way that this offensive line has struggled, my God, that really sunk the air out of the balloon for us. I think.
It really did. I mean, this was the one time, and this is a game you have to win because it's the Raiders. They didn't have Devontae Adams. They had no
Max
Max
Crosby.
Crosby. They didn't have a whole lot of people. And so the fact that you come out here slow, you can't score, and the funny thing is, before we and we talked about this before we hopped on. This is the fact. The funny thing is, it's not even Deshaun's fault.
No,
This was
especially
actually,
this game. Like, this game
yeah,
was not his fault at all.
yeah. This was the best game he probably would have had as a Brown. Um, because again, if you take away the interception, which should have been caught by Amari Cooper, if you bring back the touchdown, Deshaun Watson has a 2 passing touchdown game
Yeah.
and almost 300 yards passing, and his completion percentage would have went from 66% to 71%, and he probably would have been the best QB of the week. So he would have had a one of the best weekly performances of anyone in the NFL, and it gets ripped away because Amari Cooper still can't catch the football, and again, the complete ghost of a hold that we saw, and everyone was confused by, including the national media is confused by it, including the commentators are confused by it, including even the rules analyst was mostly confused by it. Like,
Yeah.
everyone was just confused by it. So I don't know what is more to do. Again, you can't. This is actually the one game you can't blame Deshaun Watson for because he actually did what he was supposed to do.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you anything else besides that this was a game that you had to win, and you're stuck at 1-3.
Yeah, it was that was a very rough game to lose.
Mm-hmm.
And, obviously we had the chances that we did, but the
Yeah.
team again once again came out, had a great first drive, and then just stalled after that. They could not get anything going. For whatever reason, Stefanski still does not want to run the ball, which boggles my mind considering how badly this offensive line has been playing this year so far with all of the injuries and just issues that we seem to have right now. We can't even the Browns can't even block a simple defensive line stunt at the moment. They cannot communicate to the point where they could switch off from the end going inside and the tackle going outside. They cannot do it. I don't know. I don't know where that starts. I don't know if that's with the staff, if it's
Mm-hmm.
just with the players and just being able to communicate better and just a lack of total execution. I don't know yet. We're only 4 games in, so it's hard to nitpick specific people right now. But for the majority of the part, yes, we had a chance to win that game, but that was still another very ugly game for us.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just getting personally tired of that being the uh the topic of conversation. It we had injuries last year, yet we still found ways to win games.
Yeah.
So where is the leadership? Again, as I said last week, where is the leadership here? Where is the fighting spirit? It seems like 75% of this roster doesn't even care about what they're doing on the football field. Martin Emerson has the yips. Newsom is a guarantee to get burnt at least one time a game. Ward is the only cornerback playing well. Delpit is the only safety that's playing really, really well. Obviously, McLeod is he's a vet. He's gonna play well, in his spot. And then
Mm-hmm.
Garrett and Jock. Those are the only guys, in my opinion, that are showing up every week. And Miles Garrett is limping to the locker room every time.
Yeah.
It's I get it that we have things going on, but these players do not seem motivated. They don't seem like that same swaggy group that was last year. And guess what? We didn't change much from last year. If anything, we should have improved from last year. And that was the topic of conversation all summer long was I don't see a true blank point in this team. And now you're seeing guys left and right that are just like, oh my God, these guys are not playing well.
Yeah.
Amari Cooper he's a guy that you thought would always catch damn near everything that's thrown to him, and he's dropping major passes every single game. Against Jacksonville, or was it Jacksonville, or was it last or the week prior that he had his good game, but other than that one game against the Giants, I think it was. Other than that, Cooper has not done well, and that drop that he had that led to the pick, that was probably more brutal than losing out on the 80-yard bomb because that
Yeah.
is also a change of possession there because Cooper can't log in a freaking catch as a veteran who has been in this league for a while now. It almost seems like he doesn't want to be here. And really, if that's the case, then I think the rumors of him getting traded are going to start getting louder. And I think if it continues this route, dude, I'm telling you, I will not be surprised if that happens. And it's nothing personal. It's just if that really is the mood that's going on in that, that room, we just can't have it. And Coop is silent for the most part. But if he's causing some sort of rift, or if he's causing some sort of some bad attitude in the locker room, we can't have that, and we got to find a way to dump him off, whether it's for picks, if you're trying to swap players, with say guys like D Hop, Adams is obviously a topic of conversation, station right now with him wanting to get out.
Yeah.
There are possibilities, but as I said, I'm just not going to be surprised if Coop ends up getting traded if this is the way that this is going to go from here on out.
Yeah, and to capitalize on that, um, I saw these stats earlier, and so far in 2024, the Browns have had 14 drop passes, which is the most in the NFL. We've been blitzed 47 times, which is third most. Watson has been sacked 19 times, which is the most. 257 total rushing yards from both running backs, which is the fewest in the league. We have scored only 66 total points, which is the sixth fewest in the league. And then we are averaging 15 points per game on offense, which is tied third lowest.
Yeah.
It seems like nothing is going on. We're not motivated. We're not, like you said, there's no leadership right now. The swagginess from last year, the swagger just crumpled up and disappeared and
And the
threw
play
away.
calling's been ass.
Atrocious. The play
It's
calling's
been
been
ass.
like to start the game. The play calling is fantastic. Everything's going well. We get a touchdown almost like every first drive. It seems like, but then after the first drive, we can't even move the ball down the field, and I don't get it. I don't get what changes and whatnot. I think the positive is the fact that the only positive really is the fact that Watson's just getting better each week.
Yeah.
And now you just pray to God that other people around him also get better, like Amari Cooper, like Cedric Tillman, like a lot of these other guys. I hate to break it, but the best receiver we have right now is Jerry Jeudy, and everyone was the one, and he was the one everyone was worried about catching the passes, and he's the only one who is catching passes. I felt bad for Elijah Moore because he only had one catch the entire game the other day and one target. He got no love at all, and his dad had something to say about it on Twitter too. Which his dad has no hate for them. It's not like OBJ's situation where his dad like has a lot of hate for the Browns. His dad understands that it's just part of the game, and that it's going to that stuff's going to happen, and it's very fair. But again, there were times where Elijah Moore was kind of open. I don't know. This offensive line has to do a lot better job of keeping Watson alive.
Yeah.
The receivers have to do their job to make sure they catch passes. I don't know who the fuck caught our touchdown pass. Some guy by the name of Blake Whiteheart. I don't know where the hell he came from, but he apparently just came out of nowhere and decided, hey, he's going to catch a touchdown. Didn't have that on my NFL bingo card this year.
Right.
But, and again, on the flip side with the defense isn't doing jack shit either. Like I said, you mentioned a few guys who are the only ones doing something. But just watching this game, it looked like we forgot how to tackle. We could not make one single tackle. And that one guy, Trey Tucker, he kept getting yards. He kept getting more yards after contact because the Browns couldn't tackle him. And it's like,
yeah, that's another thing. Our defense, what the hell is going on with the defense too?
Yeah. This is supposed to be the best part of your team is the defense. And I don't know if you noticed, but why is James Schwartz did he take Joe Woods' playbook?
It fucking feels like it.
Because why the fuck are we not playing man anymore?
Yeah.
We're playing a lot of soft zone coverage now, and I think this is why Newsome is getting burnt. I think this is why Emerson's getting cooked on routes.
Yep.
It's because we're playing these soft zones now. We're playing off the man, and we're playing off the line of scrimmage, and we're giving up these yards for no reason. Yeah. Is it because you're trying to give your defensive line a chance to go and attack the QB? Like, whatever happened to the fucking man-to-man defense that you're playing that helped Emerson with success, that helped Newsome with success? It's starting to kill me because this was the best part of our team last year. We were the number one defense in the league. Everyone was afraid to play us.
Right.
Now, everyone's like, well, if you're going to play soft zone, we're just going to do all these little plays and whatnot, and we'll just do these little curl routes and stuff and get at least guaranteed 5 yards. Oh, by the way, you can't tackle, so let's tack on another 10 there and make it a 15-yard gain instead of a 5.
Yeah.
It's making no sense to me of what the hell is going on. Did we just burn up both playbooks and just decide to go with what was the Freddie Kitchens offense and the fucking Joe Woods defense? Like, is that what we're doing now? What happened to the two playbooks last year that were working and getting you points and getting you turnovers? the one that beat the 49ers, the one that beat these big teams, the one that came back against the Ravens.
Yeah,
Where's these guys at?
it's killing me because again, I keep telling us on this podcast, I really want us to start running the ball a little bit, especially once Chubb returns. He needs to be involved in this offense, especially if we aren't going to be able to pat basketball very well. You're going to have to rely a little bit on your run game. But
Yeah.
again, when you have an offensive line struggling the way we are,
Yeah.
if you can establish the run game, you get everybody going. Run blocking is much easier as an offensive lineman to do than pass blocking. It's just a fact.
Yeah.
There's so much more technique and there's so much more ground that you have to take up just to pass block, especially a tackle, because an end is coming full speed, full force on you. Where when you're running the ball, you are the one that's initiating that contact. It just helps everybody stay in flow. So I don't get why Stefanski continues to want to pass with Watson so much when we're struggling to even keep a clean pocket, because when Watson does have a clean pocket, he's fine.
Yeah.
His numbers when he has a clean pocket are much better than when he's got a not so clean pocket.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, he doesn't have a clean pocket. We need to see and understand what is working and what is not. And Stefanski has got to open up the playbook a little bit, because whatever is going on right now this first 4 weeks, it's not working. And if you have to have that sort of conversation with Ken Dorsey, then you have it. And you say, hey, this is the issues that I'm having with this offense. These guys are not running this well. We need to adapt and change, because otherwise this season is going to melt so quickly. It is going to fall apart because we have a nasty schedule. Washington, we go to the road again to Washington, and Washington's been one of the better teams in the league, which is a surprise to everyone, but it's a fact. Jane Daniels is playing like one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now. He's slinging the rock. He's playing well with his feet, and they've found a group there. Scary Terry has finally found a quarterback for him.
Yeah.
And they're riding that high. They're scoring a lot of points as well. This is not going to be a fun game if the Browns show up the way they have the last 2 weeks, and let these offenses absolutely murk us on defense, and then us not being able to put any points on the board. We cannot survive having 3 or 4 fucking field goals every game. You have to put some fucking points on the board. Otherwise, this is not going to work. And it worked only last year because our defense could hold teams to 10 points.
Yeah.
Now we're in the complete opposite boat. And I don't know who necessarily to blame yet, but I'm telling you what, dude, if things continue to decrease the way they are, Stefanski could very well find himself on the hot seat after winning head coach of the year last year. That's how deadly this could be if he does not get a hold of this.
Yeah, and the thing is too is it's not like Kevin Stefanski's an awful coach either.
No.
But my thing is too is, do we need to switch back to a more play action friendly playbook to buy Watson more time to have the better throws? Do we need to buy him time? Give your offensive line a chance to at least do a little bit of blocking, do a little misdirection or something. Like,
I think we need to add more motion to our offense. Like,
Yeah.
I think we need to add a lot of motion before the snap. We are not doing that a lot this year, and I feel like we did that so well in previous years.
No, and the one thing we're doing a lot more that is not working, and I don't know why we continue to do it, is these empty backfield 5 wide.
Yeah, why? Especially with our offensive line playing so badly. Why are we on an empty backfield? Do you not trust Jerome Ford or Foreman to do it?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
What happened to the old 2 tight end set jumbo packages where, you have Njoku out there with Jordan Akins, and one of them's blocking, and one of them chip blocks and goes out for an easy dump screen or something.
Yeah.
Like, whatever happened to these? Like, we continue to run, and it's like, especially in crucial parts of the game. Again, the final play of the game where Watson got sacked, empty backfield, empty backfield where you pushed it, Jerome Ford up into the line of scrimmage to block, and not only does he get cooked, but the but Harris and Zinter together both get cooked right through the middle, and it forces Watson out of the pocket and gets sacked.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, well, he had throws open. Well, he can't throw the fucking ball when you have 1.1 seconds to get when you touch the ball.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make any sense. Like, I get it. Like, what's he going to do? Just hurry up, get it, and just hurry up and chuck it up in the air or something real quick? Like, because that's the only chance he has anymore. Stop with the empty backfield type shit. Get him some guys to help block and buy him some time.
Yeah. For
Like,
real.
again, go back to the play actions. Again, he like you said, when there's a clean pocket, again, the clean pocket happens when he's had the play actions or the simple screens and reads and whatnot. That's when he's at his best. And yet, for some reason, Stefanski's like, oh man, third and 5 or whatever. Yeah, let's go empty backfield. No, why? You're killing me, dude.
Why?
And then the defense, stop with the soft zone. Stop with the I don't know how to fucking wrap someone around and tackle them to the fucking ground. Like, it looks like we're just trying to use our shoulders and stuff and hit people with our shoulders and try and get like the big boom or whatever to knock the football loose or whatever. I don't care about if you knock the football loose. Just make the fucking tackle.
Yeah.
I'd rather hold a guy to 2 yards instead of I'd rather hold a guy to 2 yards instead of he broke this tackle, now he's gone for 15. There's such a massive difference. And it's annoying the living shit out of me, dude, because it's not like we're losing these games by much.
No.
The only game we got killed in was the Dallas game. The other 3 games you played in were close enough. They were good. They were tight games. I don't get the point of what we're doing and how everything has changed. And everything's changed when we've had Ken Dorsey come in and all this and that. And don't get me wrong, if Kevin Stefanski is in the hot seat, I'm looking towards Mike Vrabel to come in and step in as
absolutely,
because he's a leader. He's a good coach. He knows proper play calling. He knows defenses very well.
And he's a little more fiery.
He's a little more fiery. He's not reserved.
The only big thing that I really don't love about
Stefanski
is he's just not a fiery dude. He's very,
he's very reserved.
And like for certain teams, that works. Like,
yeah,
but it's just with this team, we're just too rowdy of a group. Like we need guys that are very swaggy, and that's why, like, man, if you had like a Dan Campbell or something like that in this group, this would be a different team for sure. Like it wouldn't be a contest because again, when the passion is there, everybody else feeds off that. And I don't know. I'm not saying that Stefanski is the problem. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that the lack of leadership is something that I have questioned, and it's definitely something I'm a little concerned with.
Well, we heard
we lack it.
Well, we heard what's his name speak with McLeod.
Yeah.
Rodney McLeod came and spoke about it on 92.3 The Fan that the leadership right now, it has to come from the players, and the coaches are trusting the players to do all this stuff, all the work and the leadership and stuff, and it doesn't seem like anybody's stepping up.
No, not at all.
And I don't know what's going on. I don't know where this lack of leadership is coming from. But something's got to change because it's definitely not coming from Miles. It seems like it's definitely not coming from Zadarius Smith. It's definitely not coming from Deshaun Watson. It's not coming from Amari Cooper. I don't know what is going on. I don't know why Amari Cooper's attacking media now when he was so much of a reserved guy. What the hell has changed in this locker room?
I don't know. It's an interesting question because there is something vastly different about this group.
Everyone's acting very douchey.
Yeah.
and no one wants to step up and be a leader.
No, nobody does, and it's I don't know, man. I'm a little nervous. Especially with going to Washington. As I said, they're playing very, very well, and I'm worried about this line, especially guys like Dewan Jones, who had a great year last year. This dude looks like he's in cement blocks when he blocks, and
Yeah.
we kind of brought this up before we came on, where it's like I don't know if it's because of the new alignments
Hmm.
for the line now, or if it's just he is that much heavier and he needs to lose weight because of his injury. I don't know what happened there, but there is something of concern there as well, and you really need him to be your anchor there, because when you don't have Conklin and you don't have Wills to even help out on the left side, which it's not really
Wills
saying
doesn't.
much
Well,
considering.
Wills doesn't help much at all.
No.
Jack Conklin would be a lot more help.
Yeah, which I guess also brings me to my next you know question here, or note. Um, would you consider bringing in some sort of veteran tackle at this point? Because with the way things are going, I feel like you need to say, you know what, this isn't working. We needed to try something or someone new.
I don't think you have a choice.
Yeah.
Especially with all the injuries that are occurring, you legit don't have much of a choice. You have to bring someone in who can come in again, try to be a leader at least. Bring some refreshness on the line of scrimmage because I don't. Conklin was supposed to be back week one, and yet there's no reports or signs of him coming back almost at all. It seems because I guess I don't know how heavily reported it was, but I remember someone said he did like pull a hammy in one of the like week two practice or week three practice or something.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the hell is going on with Conklin and why he's not good to go. I don't know what the hell is going on with our other guys. I thought you still had guys like that Edefi guy,
Mm-hmm. Feedy, or whatever the hell his
Afidi,
name
yeah,
is.
whatever.
Yeah.
I thought you had him somewhere tallied up. Like I don't know why he's not on the line of scrimmage. At least get somebody out there
Yeah.
because they have to cut James Hudson at some point because he is not good. James Hudson is god awful of a tackle.
Mm-hmm.
But they have to go and ask teams around the league. They have to go and bring somebody in. They have to find somebody because I don't know what's going on, but they can't sit here and continue to think that this offensive line is sustainable and this offense is sustainable.
Yeah.
They have to look at the sacks. They have to look at all these things and say, well, we don't have a run game and we can't really run the football or utilize a run game because we don't have an offensive line to even create a single hole
Yeah.
to have a run game. Because no matter if we run it to the outside, it gets stopped for a yard. If we go inside, it gets stopped for a yard. So no matter where we try to go, it doesn't get because we have no blocking.
Right.
So I think the answer is you better be going to you better go to every single team in this league and just be the most desperate son of a bitch you can and try and at least bring one, maybe two guys in.
Yeah.
Because you need something. You need somebody. You have to. There's no other choice. And and if not, then where are these guys on the practice squad? Why aren't they playing? Where the hell is all these guys? I thought you had tackles saved up in case of these things happen, and it seems like I have yet to see any of them. So I don't know what the hell is going on, and I'm gonna try and look it up, but I'll let you take over for a second. But yeah, they have more than have to find somebody and get somebody on here.
Yeah, I mean, something really does have to give with this team. We need to figure out a quick solution, because, I mean, the whole thing with Conklin is now he's dealing with a hamstring, which
Mm-hmm.
means he was probably babying the knee. And then once he started to favor that knee in a certain way, the hamstring became an option, or it was on his other side. Whatever the case is, it sets him back. And then Jed gets hurt his freaking first game back, which is just, absolutely the best. Um, we have a lot of issues on this O line. And if we cannot fix this, it's going to be a rough season. Like, it truly is going to be a rough season because Watson is going to either get hurt or he's going to have to play hurt because of the way this line is playing.
Yeah.
Again, when you're not able to pick up basic D line stunts, that is a problem. Like, this is high school level mistakes that they are making. And then, guys obviously having to miss all of these catches. Like, oh, man. And, as I said with Cooper, let's say Cooper, let's just do a little hypothetical here. Let's say we really do trade Coop. And let's say we don't even trade him for a player. We just trade him for picks of whatever we can get. Judy is playing well. Elijah Moore is great. And then you still have Tillman. And then you do have Kadarius Toney on this, the practice squad. So you can bring him up if you really think that he can provide anything. Naheem Hines is back, so he can be something within the slot, even as a receiver. And then you have Chubb that's going to come back. Like we're going to have enough on offense to work with, and especially with Cooper playing the way he is, it's not like he's adding anything to the team. So if he gets traded, I don't think it's the worst scenario, and I think it may ignite a little something within that that group, but we'll see. Obviously everybody loves Cooper. I like Cooper. Like, I have no problem with him. It's just if this is like a snotty way of him getting back at the front office for putting him or having him be involved in the Ayuk stakes,
Yeah.
dude, this is the nature of the business. Like, I don't know what you want to say, but like this is just how things go. And if you're mad because we didn't sign you long term, this is why. Because you're 30 years old and you're starting to slip now. Like,
Yeah.
and that's why you went out and got Judy, because Judy is a young receiver who's been a one and been able to prove that in this league. And he's so far been our best receiver. So you get Chief back here soon. You could possibly get Chief back this week, which would be very clutch, and I think that would help open up the playbook a little bit more for us. But man, oh man, there's a lot of deep rooted issues right now that I didn't think we were gonna have to deal with again. To be honest with you, and it just feels like the old Browns are back.
Yeah.
And this is going to be one of those years where if things don't go good soon, we're going to start tanking for whoever the hell we want. And in my opinion, it's Quinn Ewers. It's guys like that.
Or the kid
You'll
from Florida.
Yeah, and it's like you already have people throwing up mock drafts for us now, and it's only week 5 now.
Yep.
So things could get rough, and I'm hoping that the Browns can reel it in. We still have plenty of season left, but at least with the positives, again, you have Chubb, going to return. He practiced today, and he's going to practice in full tomorrow with the rest of the guys. And then it sounds like Chief could very well play this week. I think this is the first week where we may see him back.
Which would be a big need.
Yeah, even if it's on a sort of snap count basis, I'm fine with that. Because a high ankle sprain sucks. We all know this. Like, anybody who has dealt with ankle issues, you get when a high ankle sprain happens, it's painful. It's very hard to even
It
plant
is.
foot. But honestly, it sounds like even getting Chubb back on the field in general has boosted everybody's mood. Like, Jock was literally saying that today, where it was just like the vibe just changed a little
Changed.
bit when he's
Yeah.
back. And he's been around the team, but he just hasn't been able to practice. And now that he's out there, I think it could very well fire up the boys. And if that's what it takes, then dude, I'm game for it, because we all love Nick Chubb, and we all are gonna probably cry, during his first snap, because we all thought that he was gonna be done.
Mhm.
So it's a big week, dude. Like this is bigger than the Raiders game, simply because this is a good team, and if you can come back and really beat a good team like this, be like, okay, the Browns are not out of this yet. They just got to clean some shit up, but they have an opportunity to do so, and they have it every week. So uh, last game on the road for at least a few more games, and you have a chance still with this first part of this schedule to get some wins and get back to at least 500 before you get back into playing guys within the AFC North. So there is opportunity here, but the Browns have got to strike, and they cannot have a game where they let the Raiders, who are one of the worst running teams in the National Football League this year, run for, what was it, like 140 or 160 on us, I think, total. It was something stupid, and it's like the Raiders haven't even come close to that all year long, and yet we couldn't stop them. It was just a pathetic excuse of a game, and I don't know what it is about the Raiders with us, but we do not play the Raiders well. They're just one of those teams we do not play well. So we'll see, man. We
Yeah.
really will.
So I'm looking at the active roster right as we speak, and on the active roster right now, the main tackles are listed: Jed Wills, DeJuan Jones, Hudson, Conklin, as we all know. Mm-hmm. And then you start scrolling down a little bit to the guards. The guards listed are Zach Zinter, Jermaine Ifedi's on here, rookie Javion Cohen's on here, Joel Bitonio, and then obviously you have fullback center Nick Harris. I love how he's listed as a fullback. That's kind of funny. Right. Ethan Pocic, obviously a center. And then on the injured reserve, as of right now, obviously your reserve injuries, you have Hakeem Adeniji chilling on the injured with Wyatt Teller and Luke Whippler. And then obviously you have Michael Dunn coming back from injury. So that would be a big boost to the offensive line too. So you do have Jermaine Ifedi. You still have a couple guys that you could slot in.
Right.
I don't know why they're not being utilized. And actually, it has the weights of the players. DeJuan Jones right now is listed at almost 380.
Whew.
So yeah, that's a big lad right there.
Oh yeah.
To be fair though, he's also 6'8", but also too, Jack Conklin's 6'6", and he's only 308, 310.
Yeah.
So you got to shed some weight, DeJuan, because you're almost 380, dude. You're pushing big bills. So, but I mean, again, like the average, it seems like the average weight of all of our tackles and our offensive linemen is like 305 to 310.
Yeah.
And then DeJuan Jones is sitting there almost 70 pounds heavier than everyone else.
Yeah, and you can tell that it is seriously affecting
and he
him.
Looks slow.
Yeah,
but
he's looked very, very slow.
But yeah, you have Jermaine Ifedi available. You have Javion Cohen, who's available. Well, now you'll have Michael Dunn available. Eventually, you'll get. I don't know how severe like guys like Luke Whippler's injuries is. Mm-hmm. I don't know how long he's like listed as out for. I want to see if I look at the injury report, it'll say. But obviously it doesn't have them like practicing and stuff. But again, Jack Conklin listed as did not practice. Michael Dunn limited practice. Hudson and DeJuan Jones both limited as well. Jed Wills again did not practice. Pocic did not practice. About 90% of your offensive line did not practice.
Yeah.
Which is not a good look.
No, it's not. And like I said, if this is how this is going to go, this is going to get rough. It's going to get rough quick.
It's going to get bad.
I'm just hoping that for our sake it doesn't, because Twitter is already getting rough to be on right now. It's not going to go much better. But
yeah.
I mean, other than that, I really don't have too much more that I need to speak on. I feel like we kind of hit everything that we wanted to hit. Again, the Browns have an opportunity here to get a solid road win. against a really good Washington team, and if we can do that, I think this is going to be, uh, it could be a great win for us. So, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and get into the Week 5 NFL uh, picks here
Oh yes.
because
Let me get the graph set up here real quick.
and then I have, yeah, this is it. Okay, I'm gonna send you.
Oh,
I should have done this before we started, but
I should have done this before we started too.
it's fine. We're here. This is how this podcast is run. Just so we have something for a
um,
for
let
a
me do.
graphic of some sort.
Yeah, let me do week 5. Hold on, I gotta edit a lot of this shit.
Oh
I
yeah.
completely forgot all about it.
Yeah. So I mean I guess while we're doing a little bit of waiting, I guess I can, also add the Guardians are getting ready to play against the Detroit Tigers in the ALDS. They beat the Houston Astros 2-0. And it sounds like Baltimore just got beat as well. So Kansas City is also playing the Yankees in the ALDS, which means there are 3 AL Central teams in the ALDS this year. That's awesome because I was literally reading something before we got on here of the payroll between the 3 teams compared to the Yankees, and it was $100 million difference. Like almost
It's
exactly
crazy.
$100 million difference. Uh, what a nice little playoff run this is going to be. And I think at least for the Guardians, I think this is the best case scenario because I honestly would prefer to play Detroit any day of the week anyway. I'm never scared of Detroit. I know they're playing really, really well, and they're obviously playing a hot hand, but so are the Guardians. Like, the Guardians have been playing fantastic ball towards the end of the season. Everybody's starting to hit well. The only thing that's going to suck, Tanner Bybee does not have a great overall sort of record against Detroit. So we'll see how he plays against Detroit this week. But I believe the game is on Saturday. I'm not sure if there's a time. Do you know if there's a time yet for that game?
For the Saturday game, it's 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. Okay. So yeah, I mean it's gonna be a pretty much the first game of the day for Saturday. So yeah, shout out to the Guardians. It's the start of the real shit, and yeah, man, it's gonna be a fun experience, and the fact that we get to start at home, I think that's gonna be so awesome. So I'm excited about it. I know Andrew is too because Andrew has been going to games all year long, and I'm sure you're gonna try to find a way to get up there, uh, on
I
Saturday as well.
I looked at tickets, and the average ticket right now is like $100 per ticket. So
Okay, I mean that's not terrible, but
it's
not amazing.
no. So I might hold off. I'll see what happens with the ticket prices as the week continues. I'm hoping they will drop, and that way I can like at least to like if it's like $80 a piece,
Yeah.
I'll be a little bit more content and be like, okay, I can definitely do this
Right.
more than I can 100. Um, but yeah, it's one of those. I'm gonna just kind of wait until like one of like the last, like Friday, Thursday, like tomorrow, Friday, see what the tickets look like. See if I can't sneak my way into the game, weasel my way there. I hope so. I mean, it's gonna be fun. I like the matchup. I think it's a lot better than playing Houston because when Houston gets hot in the playoffs, they're unbeatable.
Oh yeah.
And so I think this is a good matchup. We obviously play against this team every year about what is it like almost like 12 times a year. So
Oh yeah.
it's a very familiar opponent. Obviously, Detroit's looking at it too. It's like it's a very familiar opponent. We know them very well. Um, but yeah, it's going to be a fun series. I think this is not what just both teams wanted, but I think this is what the whole league wanted because I think the entire league is getting sick and tired of watching
Yeah.
Houston and like New York and stuff like that. It gets kind of dull and boring. This shakes things up. I mean, we talked about it earlier. Everyone was talking about, oh well, at the beginning of the season, oh the AL Central is the weakest division in baseball, and they'll be lucky to probably even have any teams. Obviously, that's impossible because at least one team will obviously make it by winning the division. But
Right.
they're all like almost like, oh well, no team deserves on this in this division deserves to be on the and here come the Cleveland Guardians, and they're just like, yeah, just hold my beer,
Yeah.
like, and obviously the Guardians flew off and became one of the best teams in the league. Detroit had a massive come up. Minnesota choked it. I mean, it's fun to watch Minnesota choke. Yeah, Minnesota choked it, and yeah, it's super fun and enjoyable.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just excited to see what the playoffs bring for us because I'm just wanting to. I'm just wanting to see how we just fare against everyone. So, we will see. But I have week 5 ready to go. I just need to count up all the results from week 4,
Okay.
and then we are absolutely all good. We can we could also kind of just discuss too while I do it. We can just start doing the the picks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the hell I was trying to say. So yeah, let me pull it up on the. Let me pull it up here on the screen. Share my screen. Lovely jubbly. There it is. It's gonna be a little hard to see because this one's a little bit smaller than the other ones,
Yeah.
but that's okay. Um, so yeah, starting to kick off week 5, we have Tampa Bay versus Atlanta for Thursday Night Football.
I am going to say probably. Man, Atlanta's been playing really well, but so is the Bucks. The Bucks look like one of the best teams in the league currently. Baker's playing out of his mind. But this is in Atlanta, so I think this is going to be a tougher challenge. I was going to go Bucks, but I'm actually going to take Atlanta at home here.
Okay.
I yeah, fuck it. I'm going to go on a whim there. See
Well,
what happens.
luckily for you, I also went ATL at home.
Okay.
Um, Again, just for the fact that they're at home, Kirk Cousins is getting really hot. The team is starting to flow together and get together. Drake London looks really good. Obviously, Bijan Robinson looks really good, and I don't know what they have because for some reason I don't know why they don't utilize this guy a lot, but Tyler Algier, like his rookie season, over 1,000 rushing yards,
Yeah.
and is not a bad pass catching back either. This year, obviously not getting a shit ton of work, but also too, he's averaging 5.5 yards per carry, which I think is the highest in the league right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's a lot.
he's a backup to Bijan Robinson. He's averaging 5.5 yards per carry. So I would look for him to get a lot more touches as well. And they started maybe utilizing Bijan in the passing game a lot more. And then maybe, like, obviously they're going to run Bijan more than Algier, but look for Algier to take up a lot of those carries away from Bijan and him becoming more of like the power running back and Bijan being out there for more of your pass catching.
Yeah.
So I got Atlanta as well.
Hell yeah.
All right, we have the Jets versus the Vikes.
Vikings.
I mean, do we really need to discuss?
Yeah, the Vikings. I mean, the Jets will give them a bit of a fighting chance, I think, but they have not been playing that well. And dude, the Vikings are just Sam Darnold is playing out of his mind. I don't know what else to say. The dude's playing out of his mind.
Sam Darnold's crazy. Yeah, Sam Darnold is crazy. The defense is the best in the league right now, as of right now. I don't know what the hell happened. I think it's the same thing that happened with Baker's. Just they went to Carolina, they went to wherever, and then
Mm,
just out of there, they're like, "Oh yeah, we're just gonna be vying for MVP this season. Like, fuck it, why not?" Like,
yeah.
I mean, I think this is the most hilarious season so far, just for the fact that like nobody who is supposed to be good is good.
Yeah.
Like Darnold's good, Mayfield's good. Andy Dalton looks like his old self from like 15 years ago, 10, 15 years ago. Like, what the
Yeah.
hell is happening here?
Yeah. I've no idea. This shit's getting crazy.
It's getting weird, and I don't like it. I mean, I love it because it's odd, but
It's different, yeah. But like,
it's
man,
different.
yeah.
All right, up next we have the
Panthers
Panthers and the
Bears.
Bears.
I'm going Bears here simply due to the fact that I just think their defense is better. The Panthers are playing better, and I think their offense is going to score a little bit. And I think Caleb Williams is starting to find his groove a little bit more. Um, but I just think the Bears have a little bit better of a defense, so that's why I'm going to pick them.
I mean, I am again. I'm 1,000% with you. I think Carolina wins this game again. Just better defense overall. Andy Dalton has revived this football team. If it was Bryce Young, I would definitely go the opposite way and have picked the Bears. But for some reason, like I said, I just think just bringing Andy Dalton just has really changed this team and the outlook of this team. So
Yeah,
and Carolina is also at home, I believe. Or no, they're in the
yeah,
road.
they're on the road. Yep.
And so, but I still trust them to win this game.
Yeah, I do too.
All right. Up next, we have Baltimore and Cincinnati. So AFC North matchup.
Yep. I think this is going to be a fun game. I do think the Ravens are going to win this game, but I do think the Bengals are going to make this close simply due to the fact that it is an AFC North matchup, and the Bengals seem to always play the Ravens pretty well. And so, regardless of how much the Ravens end up using guys like Derek. You know, if the Bengals can get Jamar Chase going and have himself like a field day, it's gonna be a fun game. But I do think the Ravens are just a little bit better of a team right now than the Bengals. But Joe Burrow's playing better. It's just I just don't think their defense is good at all, and I think that's what's really killing the Bengals is their defense.
Yeah, I completely agree. And again, I went the same route as you. Um, I I think the Ravens are going to win this game. They just looked incredible against Buffalo and
Yeah.
just made Buffalo look insanely weak. And I think the Ravens are starting to finally find their form again. And it's going to be a scary look for the league. And I agree. I think they can make this a close game, but I don't know if it's going to be close. I think this is going to be a bit of a rough stretch here for the Bengals because again, their defense has just not looked good at all,
Yeah.
and I don't trust their again. I just don't trust their defense, and even the offense has looked a little shaky at times. Um, so I'm right there with you, man. I completely think that this is going down the route of the Baltimore Ravens. Up next, the Bills and Houston Texans.
Um, this is gonna be a good game too. Might even be a little bit more of a shootout because the Bills are definitely going to come back a little more hungry and a little more ready to sling the rock a little bit. But they're also going to get back to running the ball. But dude, I just love Stroud so much. That dude is just getting so much better, and I really think Houston is probably going to win this game.
Okay.
But I will not be surprised if the Bills do win this, just because it's the Bills.
Well, finally, we are of opposites. I went with the Buffalo Bills. Um, I just think the Bills have looked a lot better. I know Houston Texans are 2-1 to start the year. But their defense has looked lackluster this year so far, and I don't know why. Because last year they looked really good. Are they 3-1? They look good
Yeah, 3-1.
defensively. I forgot it's been 4 weeks. And it's right in front of me too. It's just one of those days.
Oh, it is.
But but yeah, they haven't played like a good 3-1 football team, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
they have looked really sloppy. The offense, like, don't get me wrong, is killer, and obviously Nico Collins and CJ Stroud and all that are having a lot of fun. They're doing well, but there are times where they just have a hard time moving the ball sometimes.
Yeah.
And there's also the defense who just doesn't look good. They look like one of the worst defenses in the league, actually,
Yeah.
compared to last year, where they looked phenomenal. So I don't know if I trust it. Josh Allen might actually carve up this defense a little bit, and James Cook will get back going. So I got the Buffalo Bills.
Hell yeah.
Up next, the Colts and the Jags.
Colts, as long as, dude, whether it's Anthony Richardson or Joe Flacco, it doesn't matter. The Jaguars are the worst team in the league, period. They are god awful, and they have the most overpaid quarterback as their starter. But if it is going to be Joe Flacco time, he's going to throw for 300 yards on them, just like he did with us last year. So Colts all day.
Yeah, I went with the Colts. Jacksonville is going to be the first 0-5 team of the year, and the only 0-5 team, the only team without a win actually this season.
Yeah.
I don't know what's gone on with this team, but they went from playoff team to I don't know how to do anything.
Yeah.
The offense looks horrid. Trevor Lawrence looks horrible. The defense horrible. Everyone just looks horrible.
And he's got receivers. That's the funny part.
Yeah,
he
Christian
doesn't have
Kirk-
bad receivers.
He's got Christian Kirk. He's got who else is this?
Gabe Davis.
Gabe
and then
Davis,
that,
yeah.
And then that Brian Thomas kid.
Yeah, Brian Thomas. Like, they have talent. And they have Travis
Makes no
Etienne.
sense. Yeah, it makes no sense, dude. It makes no sense why they're 0-4.
And we talk about the Browns not scoring points. This offense can't score points.
Yeah.
If you're telling me this offense can't score points, there's something fucking wrong.
Yeah, there's something really wrong.
And I don't know how, but Joe Flacco's going to win this game. And Jacksonville's 0-5 to start the year.
Yeah.
All right, Miami versus New England. Who would have thought Miami a 1-3 football team?
Yeah, I mean, it is unfortunate without Tua. I actually think the Patriots are going to do this because the Dolphins just also lost Jalen Phillips today. And that's a massive hit to that defense. The Patriots are not like dreadful. They just don't have a lot of weapons. But if they can get Stevenson going, they will be just fine. So, and I do think the Pats have a good enough defense to just keep the Dolphins at bay. You know, as long as you don't let Reek do anything, they just don't have many guys to play right now. So the Dolphins are just really hard pick for me right now.
Yeah, I mean, I also went with New England. We all know Jacoby Brissett. This is a guy who doesn't turn the ball over. Yeah. And like you said, they don't have an incredibly high-powered offense or insanely good offense and whatnot. But when you have a QB who hardly turns the ball over ever, who can make plays with his feet, who could just do the little things correct, that's all you need. And again, you have Ramondre Stevenson. They also have, I forget their backup running back's name, but he's also pretty solid too. And then they have the rookie Jalen Polk as well, who's actually a decent receiver.
Yeah.
So they may not be an incredibly insane team. But what I like about them is the fact that and the backup is they have Antonio Gibson. as the backup. So they have a good running back duo between
Yeah.
Stevenson and, but again, they have KJ Osborne and Jalen Polk as the two receivers. And again, the defense for Miami is just injury riddled. Their offense can't, even with Huntley, their offense can't do anything unless Tua's in that offense.
Yeah.
So I just don't see how this offense scores points. I don't see how the defense holds anything when everyone on the defense is injured. So I personally believe that the Patriots can get it done with just simplicity.
Yeah, I think so too.
They don't have to play anything crazy. It just has to be simple football. All
So
right.
yeah, we'll skip the Browns game till the
Yeah,
end.
yeah.
So we'll just go
Two.
Raiders Broncos.
Absolutely.
I actually like the Broncos here. The Raiders. I mean, we made them look a lot better than they are. They got a lot going on right now in that room. Not everybody's healthy, and they're supposed to be a 1-3 team. The Broncos do not look that bad, honestly. Like Bo Nix makes them at least um, presentable on the field, and they're 2-2. So I mean, they're playing well enough. I don't think this is going to be a very high scoring game, but I do think that the Broncos can do this. So I'm going with Broncos.
Yeah, I went with Denver as well, just because number one, they're at home. Number two, they don't. Again, they don't. Their defense is what's holding them together.
Yeah,
Their defense is was keeping this team alive. Bo Nix is not. I don't think Bo Nix is a horrible quarterback. I think he's a solid QB. He just really only has Cortland Sutton to throw the ball to, and he doesn't really have any backs
yeah,
besides Javante Williams. But other than that, the defense is really one of the top defenses in the league. And as long as they can do that, they can stay in games. And I truly believe that the Raiders' offense isn't superb and their defense is injury riddled. And Devontae Adams is probably not going to play until he gets traded.
yeah,
So they literally just lost their number one guy. So I think I think the Broncos could win this game.
absolutely.
All right. Arizona versus San Francisco.
So I'm going 49ers here because I'm pretty sure they're getting Debo back. They still have Ayuk. I know George Kittle is hurt, but they have enough on offense to still do anything, and the Cardinals defense is still not great. Besides Harrison and you know Kyler playing as well as he has, they're still 1-3 because teams are just able to just score at will on them. And I do think the 49ers can at least score enough against them to beat them. But I do think the Cardinals make this game interesting because of Marvin Harrison. And they may get Trey and McBride back this week, which will help boost all that offense, obviously, as well. But can that defense is just so rough, it's hard for me to pick them. It really is.
I hear you, dude. I also went with San Francisco. Again, the defense of Arizona is not good. And for some reason, Kyler Murray just had that one good game, and then everything just fell apart again.
Yeah.
So I he again, it's one of those things where he just has James Conner, he has Marvin Harrison, he has a couple weapons, but the thing is that I think he tries to do far too much,
Yeah.
more than he can handle, and it kills him in the end. So I truly believe that unless he gets out of his own way, Arizona's going to struggle quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I think San Francisco is. Plus, like you said, Debo's coming back. They have George Kittle, who is quote unquote day to day right now with a rib injury. So he should be fine enough to play this weekend too. So you're going to have almost a fully healthy Niners offense that's just missing McCaffrey.
Yeah.
All right, to Green Bay and the Rams.
Green Bay wins this game. The Rams just they don't have enough on offense, unfortunately. So I just don't see them really being able to do anything. Um, the defense is decent, but again, Green Bay's playing really well. Like honestly, like their run game's solid. They have a pretty solid defense as well. They have Jordan Love back, and as he gets back into the flow of things, I think they'll they'll probably be up there with Green Bay in that division. So
Yeah, I also had Green Bay because there's nothing on the Rams offense without Puka Nakua and Cooper Cup. Kyron Williams is the only spark in that offense, and then the Rams defense again is just flat out mediocre. They don't have that solid of a defense. It's more of middle of the pack, if anything, and
yeah,
it's hardly even that either. So, and for the Green Bay Packers, getting Jordan Love back and having Jordan Love back is very helpful, and I think their defense is also very very fluid and very solid. So they have a good defense going right now. They have good offense. And Packers are just overall better.
yeah.
All right, Giants and Seahawks.
Seahawks win this game. Um, the Giants, they're really not as great as we made them look. You know, Malik Neighbors is great. Everything else about that team is pretty mid. They have a decent front line uh, on that defense, but it's just Seahawks are a better team. They played a pretty tough game on Monday night, but Geno Smith's playing well. I think was it Metcalf's playing really well. Just everybody on that team's playing well. I just Seahawks got this.
Yeah, again, you're not going to hear any disagreements from me on
Yeah,
this. This is definitely one of those time periods where it's going to be hard to disagree with one another. Seattle just had a fantastic game against Detroit, even though they lost.
mm-hmm.
Geno Smith had almost near 400 yards passing. Like he looked incredible. The offense looks high flying. Um, I forget. I keep forgetting. Kenneth Walker had a great game. He had a
Yeah,
3 touchdown performance on his first week back. Charbonnet played solid still.
yeah,
DK Lockett and Jackson Smith and Jigba all got involved. It was just apparently it was just not enough,
yeah.
because Detroit just decided to go crazy.
Oh yeah, Detroit went off.
Um, but yeah, Seattle easily wins this game for sure.
Oh yeah.
Dallas and Pittsburgh.
I picked Pittsburgh last week, and I'm never doing that again. I'm going Dallas.
Yeah, I chose Dallas for this week. I think this is where we start seeing the fall of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think the 3-0 was just one of those fluky 3-0s, and this is where you start seeing the turmoil and the downfall of the Steelers. I get they're at home, but again, Dallas has got a great offense. They have a great defense. They're just the one of the more complete teams, and they're just going to be hard to compete with, especially on your own home field. So I got Dallas.
Oh yeah.
And then the Monday night game, we have Kansas City versus the Saints.
There's no way that the refs let the Kansas City Chiefs lose on Monday Night Football. So I'm going Chiefs. I do think Xavier Worthy is going to play really, really well, and I think this could be the first big Travis Kelce game. The Saints don't have that great of a defense, and Derek Carr is being a little weird with his guys.
Mm-hmm.
Olave should be getting the ball a lot more than he has. It's been a weird few weeks for the Saints after starting off so hot. I think they're starting to cool back down. But again, it's prime time. You really think the NFL is going to let the Chiefs lose on prime time? No.
No,
Chiefs all
God,
day.
no.
Chiefs all day.
Yeah, again, I went with Kansas City because they're not going to let you. They're not going to let Kansas City lose on prime time, and for some reason, it's always and it always will continue to will be the refs versus the league, and Kansas City is going to get the benefit of the doubt because Pat Mahomes is the golden boy of the NFL. I don't know what else to say about that. Their defense actually isn't that great. I mean, it's the same defense from the last couple of years, but for some reason they're not playing well. And the offense, I mean, Pat Mahomes is turning the ball over quite a bit,
Yeah.
and it's kind of odd to see because you hardly see him turn the ball over, and he's doing it a lot. I think he's almost tied with the most picks in the league. And so it's kind of funny. But again, at no point will, if the Chiefs are struggling and the Saints are making a comeback and the Saints have like, the Browns' 80-yard touchdown pass, will the rest just be like, yeah, we're not going to let that slide. We're just going to go ahead and throw a flag and we're just going to call like a phantom like offensive pass interference or like an offensive hold that like nothing like anything like ever existed. And
Right.
we're just gonna make sure Kansas City does whatever they can to win this football game. So
Yeah.
I don't care if people call us out for saying, well, the refs don't like. I don't care. The refs have helped the Chiefs win 4 games in a row. So you can't convince me otherwise that the refs have nothing to do with this.
No.
But yeah, those are our predictions. Besides, we have one more.
The Browns and Commanders.
What's your go-to?
Oh man, that's so hard. You know what? The Browns do this, and this is why. Even if Nick Chubb doesn't play this week, I think just having him back in the building is going to help the team out a lot. It's going to kind of revitalize them a little bit. And I did just send you a screenshot of what Chubb just posted on TikTok if you want to throw that up on the screen for us.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I can. Let me go to the messages.
Get ready.
Oh.
I think he's playing.
I think he's playing.
And I'm telling you what,
Ooh.
if Nick Chubb plays in this game, this is a much different ball game.
Yeah.
So, with that said, does Washington probably beat us? Yes. But I cannot be a Browns fan without taking the Browns anyway. So, Browns all day.
I hate doing this, but I think it's going to work. And this is the reason why I'm doing this.
Yes.
I went with Washington. Here's why.
Reverse psychology, baby.
Reverse psychology, baby. Because it seems like every time I pick the Browns to win a game, they always lose. But when I pick them to lose, they always win.
Yeah.
So we're going with the reverse psychology route. The Browns are going to get their asses handed to them by Jaden Daniels. The defense is so much better. The offense is so much better. We're going to get curb stomped to the fucking ground by the Commanders. And hopes that the Browns win this fucking football game and the reverse psychology works. If not, at least I got a win on the board.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So,
at least one of us won.
But again, seeing this this post from Chubb, I'm guaranteeing you he is chomping at the bit to play this week.
I think so.
I think he's gonna do everything that he can. And I really don't think it's out of the picture anymore. I really don't. He's practicing without a brace, which I did not expect. So we'll see. I'm not trying to get my hopes up too much for Chubb, but if he plays, this team is going to have an energy boost that they have not had in a while. Yeah. And I think that's really going to ignite the flame here.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think if Nick Chubb plays, what we talked about earlier doesn't matter about the morale, about the leadership. For some reason, all that just disappears because just Nick Chubb just walking into the room, just his presence, just his godlike presence, just entering that room. Everyone's like, oh yeah, it's Nick Chubb. I don't know if you saw the video earlier of just Nick Chubb just walking to practice, and everyone was like, "Oh, hail Nick Chubb!" Dapping him up. Oh, hail Nick Chubb! Yeah. Like everyone was all giddy, everyone was happy, everyone was smiling. Everybody was just elated that he was back. Everyone just the whole vibe just went up, and everyone just got uplifted. So maybe he was just a missing piece that we needed all along, and that we just didn't have. And I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he was what we needed. Maybe he is the calling that we needed.
Never know.
And even if he does play, and I'm not expecting him to do much, but I just think him being on the field is just going to boost the morale of everyone.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that post alone. I'm sold. I'm ready.
I'm sold too.
I'm sold. So
I'll buy the stocks.
So yeah, before we get off, we're gonna do our quick bets, and then it's pretty much gonna wrap it up. So, do you want me to start first, or you want to go?
I'll let you go ahead and go first.
All right. So I have two bets in. I have my one like bigger bet, but the one I have for the pod's a lot more doable. So I have a 3-leg parlay that is a plus 487 with the 30% profit boost on FanDuel. I have Baker Mayfield going for 250 plus passing yards and 2 touchdowns. And one of those touchdowns he's going to throw to is going to be Mike Evans. He's his favorite target, but I will not be surprised if it's going to be Cade Otton. For my other bet, I have Cade Otton as the first touchdown scorer, followed by a Drake London touchdown and a Ray McLeod III anytime score as well. That one is a no sweat, but it's a 3-legger. $5 wins you almost $1,000.
Sheesh.
So, it's a bigger chance because if you don't hit on Otton scoring first, then, you're not getting the bet. But Baker loves his tight ends, so it would not surprise me one bit if that happens. So, good luck to you guys if you guys decide to tail it, because this is going to get posted before the game tomorrow. So, we're going to rock with it.
Yeah, so mine is a 5-leg parlay with a 30% profit boost. $3 will win you $15. It was plus 314, but with a 30% profit boost, it's at plus 407.
Okay.
And it's a simple 5-legger. Cade Otton to get 25 plus receiving yards. Kirk Cousins to get 200 plus passing yards. London to get 40 plus receiving yards. Chris Godwin to get 40 plus receiving yards. And then 1 touchdown pass from Baker Mayfield. And then again, $3 wins you 15. So not bad.
Easy, simple shit. Like as we say every week, you don't have to go big on these bets. As long as you're going to make some profit, that's all that matters. Because then you're just playing house money, and if you're smart with it, you will hit on plenty of bets. Andrew, anything else you got on the mind before we get off here today?
Go Guardians, baby.
Yeah, go Guards, man. This is going to be a fun ride. I can't wait to talk more, about them. Hopefully, since the Browns are being so bad and even the Cavs are getting ready to start up. So we're going to have a lot more to talk about, especially if the Browns continue to struggle. We may start to fall off of that. But hopefully that does not happen. And hopefully everybody is popping and everybody is having fun. And then this podcast can be really fun for us in general. Yep. So we will see you guys next week, hopefully with a Browns W and hopefully with some money in our pockets. And remember, we're just BSing.